Hey everyone, welcome back to Shade Review. In today's video, we are reviewing the Ray-Ban RB4408 Magellan bio-based sunglasses. But first, I'll link today's video sponsor, our own website, shadereviewstore.com, the absolute best place to buy designer sunglasses like these up to 80% off the original MSRP. Again, the website there is shadereviewstore.com. Check it out. So let's go ahead and pop these sunglasses on face and talk about the dimensions. These have 54mm lenses and a 19mm bridge, and the hinge to hinge distance here is 134 millimeters, so a good standard and slightly large size that's going to fit the average person's face really well. Now, as far as the exact colorway that I have on today's video, these have Ray-Ban's polished Havana fronts, and then the lenses are their dark brown polycarbonate lenses. Now, as far as the material that these frames are actually made out of, Ray-Ban says they are made out of a bio-based injected material. Now, I actually don't believe these frames are injected at all because they're not made out of nylon, that is for sure. They really seem like they are made out of a propionate material, not an acetate, but a propionate, so very, very similar. And there's no injected feel on these frames. They feel perfectly polished and nice, very similar to an acetate, but they don't have nearly as rich color tones as an acetate material would. They don't kind of react like acetate would either, but they are very similar. So I believe these frames are actually made out of a propionate material, but I definitely could be wrong. It's very annoying that Ray-Ban doesn't let us know the actual frame material. They just say injected material, but what is the actual material that's being injected, right? They don't explain that at all. So again, I would probably say these are propionate, but if they're typically propionate, Ray-Ban will say that the frames are propionate on their website. So again, it's hard for me to know, but my guess would be these frames are definitely made out of a propionate material. But with that being said, these frames are going to be very heavy, as you would assume. These frames come in at 50 grams, so even though they have these polymer lenses, they still come in at 50 grams, so a very, very heavy pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses. As far as styling goes, these frames have really, really interesting styling to them. You can see they definitely have very squared off lenses, and then the bridge here is really interesting with these two kind of precision drilled holes through them, which adds to the style for sure. It looks really interesting. And then we can see a painted on Ray-Ban logo here in the top right corner of the lens, and then an etched RB logo here in the middle left of the lens as well. Now moving down to the outside temples of the frames, we can see a raised Ray-Ban logo here in the left and the right hand side, and then we can see they do have a metal stem that runs all the way down through the frames, so it allows you to heat these frames up and give them a custom fit to the face, which is really nice as far as just getting that perfect feel. Frames, as you can see, do not have fully adjustable nose rests. They are very smooth, but they're still very comfortable. I do like a good kind of, smooth nose rest. It's going to definitely help take off some of the very heavy weight here of the fronts and kind of distribute it on the nose really nicely. And now these frames have very nice and premium 5-barrel all-metal hinges. They just feel very, very good right out of the box when open up and when closing them. They just feel very nice and substantial. Now, as far as the actual build quality of these frames go, everything here seems really, really nice. Again, they're very well polished, very premium. The lenses don't squeak. The frames don't squeak at all, which is always a nice thing. And if we take a look here at the inner right temple of the frames, you can see it says Ray-Ban T. Now, if it says T, it means that they are not made in Italy. So if it says T, they could be made in Brazil or India or China. And then if we keep moving down to the inside right US, we can see, in fact, it does say made in China. Now, if we take a look here at the inner left temple of the frames, we can see the exact Luxottica color code and model number information there. So these frames are, in fact, made in China, but the build quality here really seems very, very good, just as good as something I would expect to come out of Italy. And if we take a look at the underneath of the right temple, we can see they say frames with bio-based material. And another thing that I am slightly impressed with is the price. These frames come in at only $168, where an original Ray-Ban Wayfarer that's handmade in Italy comes in at $183 or $185 or something like that. So these frames do offer a slight discount over a made in Italy style. So I think that kind of makes sense as far as the price point goes. Honestly, I'd like these to be just a little bit cheaper to kind of justify spending that kind of money on a pair of Chinese-made frames. But I'm definitely glad these frames are more affordable than the Italian counterparts. It's really annoying when sometimes, the Chinese-made ones are like $200 and the handmade Italy ones are $180. That does not make sense. But this Ray-Ban is starting to kind of get the price point dialed in. And it also seems lately that they're also getting the build quality kind of dialed in lately, not making as much cheap crappy sunglasses as they used to from their Chinese plants. Overall, this is a really interesting looking pair of frames. As far as coverage from the sun goes, we can see they're not going to offer the best coverage. There's a pretty big gap let sunlight in unprotected, even though it is a very tall top, which is going to help. And then here on the side, again, there's a pretty big gap. So not the most practical pair of frames, but they are overall a pretty decent pair of frames. The build quality here is really good. As far as styling goes, these are not my particular favorite pair of frames. I typically don't like to wear frames that are quite this loud and quite this bold, but if you're into that style, then you definitely might want to consider picking up this pair of frames. And again, I think the price point here is pretty decent, so I'm going to leave a link in the description down below directly to our website where I have these frames for a substantial discount off the original MSRP, and also directly to Ray-Ban's website where they have every single colorway available on their website as well. Well, let me know what you think about this pair of sunglasses in the comment section down below. Do you love these? Do you hate these? What do you think about them? I'm definitely very curious to know in the comment section down below. But thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give me a big thumbs up down below, and of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and then you won't miss any new videos that are released to the YouTube channel just like this one. Again, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.